I was reading something that you had said before about when you're photographing people that I don't remember exactly how you worded it, but it was basically saying you want to bestow dignity on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's really an interesting way to put it. You said you want to take a picture of a child who's smiling and not somebody who is showing them in their worst kind of situation. Talk about that a little.
That came to me because of a moment that I had in my life. Is like I was pursuing photography for myself. And like that's kind of what we do in America. You do fashion shoots to create a great portfolio, or you're shooting weddings because you want to get work. And so I was creating a portfolio so I could work in National Geographic.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. That's what we do. But as I was doing that, I'm in these countries and I'm shooting and photographing people. I wasn't connecting with them at all. And I was like, I'm taking photographs of this child, you know, and he's covered in flies, and putting it in this book that I'm showing to people and saying, look at all these great photos. And I'm like, that's not really a great photo. And I never connected with people. I didn't get to know anybody and who they were. And it wasn't until I was in Congo and I photographed this child, and I remember being excited about the photo. And it was a child I never talked to, malnourished child, and I was excited about the photo of someone suffering for my gain. And that was when God just like, it was like a brick fell upon me. And I like realized like where my heart had gone, and it had gone in a selfish route when I knew like God had a calling in it, but it had gone like back to me. And it's just, I'm great with photographers using portfolios here. I don't have a problem with that. It's when I think it's a very sensitive thing when you're using poverty for that. Like, I don't want to see portfolios of poverty. I want to know stories of poverty and the poverty changing to something else. And so there's no dignity in that at all when I see a photo of a child who has no name, and you just show me like, hey, I want a mission trip, and here's this photo of this kid. I'm like, well, whose kid is it?
Yeah, what's the story?
I don't know. Where does he come from? What is his name? Do you know anything about him? It's something like this stock photo thing that's become cool. And that's just kind of where I went because I was excited about it. So I almost threw my camera at a wall after that.
Really?
I was just like, I'm done.
Wow.
And God really started just pressing on my heart and saying, let me show you how I see people. Let me show you people past their circumstance. And it happened in Rwanda. And I kept hearing, who we are is not our circumstance. I heard those words over and over, and God showed me people in his light, like this beautiful woman who might be covered in flies and dirt. And if I show that perception in the world, that's not who she is. Who she is who God sees her as. And she is vibrant and gorgeous and wonderful, and she works so hard for her children to be alive. And that's who I want the world to see. And I realized too that like photos can do something. I don't have to just show a photo and that's the end of it. And if I do that for myself, it doesn't do anything at all. Nothing. If I show a photo and I'm like, you know what, this is the situation. This woman has dirty water and it's gross, but for $5,000 we can build a well for the whole village, and it can be like this. And so it's like, this is what is and this is what can be, and we pair those together, action happens, it moves, and it's not just. And so I love it, and there's a dignity component too. I think it's so important too, like that we show names of people and the stories that go with it.
Yeah, I saw you said that. So how do you go about like in the midst of, you know, you're taking pictures of people? How do you end up getting their name?
I get to know them.
Yeah.
It's so like
That's
many
great.
times I don't even shoot right away. I'm like, I'm not gonna come up to you in your house. Like if I was doing a photo shoot with you, like I'm doing a story on you. I'm not gonna show up to your house and just start taking photos of you. I don't know you yet. Why would I do that in any other country? And so like I just did a workshop too in Ethiopia, and my photographers are ready to go out and take photos. I was like, leave your cameras in the van, please.
Oh, I bet they hated it.
They hated it so much.
But afterwards,
I mean, this one guy bought $50,000 worth of gear.
Oh my god!
And I was like, leave it. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. We go to the field, and they built relationships. They got to know everybody, and through that, there's trust. And it's just like, I mean, that is what it is all about, especially in poverty. I just had someone ask yesterday. He says, you know, I work with this really low income, you know, community in Oklahoma, and like, how would we go about photographing? I was like, first of all, what do you need it for? That's always my question. I ask myself all the time, is it worth the risk of taking this photo versus the relationship? Sometimes it's not, especially if I'm not going to take a great photo so that I can put it on my website so it can be something cool. There's no point to that. But if I know that photo might do something, then it's worth it to me.
You're forward thinking.
I'm always forward thinking. I'm just like trying to, I try to place myself in their position and say, what would it feel like to have this woman from the other side of the world come and approach me and take my photo? Would I feel okay with that? Would I feel, you know, hurt by that? Will it damage the relationship?
That's really interesting.
And I ask their name. I'm usually like recording. I'll shoot a photo, and then I record right after and say, "What's your name? Tell me about you a little bit."
That's cool.
And sometimes I don't get it all, but I just think it's really important. I think so many organizations miss that part of it.
Yeah.
They're just going, here's photos. I get asked a lot for stock photos too of people. I'm like,